to Prabhuji. I would like to give a small introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Samik Prabhuji is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Being a doctor by profession, he has done immense services to the devotee community and served the society by donating for lots of projects. For the propagation of Krishna consciousness, they purchased a house for the Bhaktivedanta Institute and an office for Back to Godhead magazine and donated the Radha Krishna deities to the ISKCON temple in Philadelphia in the early 80s. And in early 90s, they took the initiative to construct a new home for Sri Sri Radha Damodar in Gitanagari. He also served as temple president of ISKCON New Jersey from 1996 to 2010. He started Every Town and Village Trust, funded by Shamik Rishi Prabhuji's own life savings and earnings to serve Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON in various ways. A few years ago, he embarked on a project called the Sri Krishna Mini Temple, in which he produced 3,000 mini temples that includes deities as well as place for Srila Prabhupada's books. For the past several years, he has been serving Srila Prabhupada's mission as a traveling preacher, visiting various places in India, various other countries, and also regularly shared Krishna Katha on various conference calls. He is an initiating ISKCON Guru. Currently, Shamik Rishi Prabhuji's main focus is developing ISKCON Kargon, Navarbraja Dham, a 50-acre temple complex and community in Madhya Pradesh, India, to serve the worldwide devotee community. We can get more information of his new project from www.everytownandvillage.org. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you're there on the call.
Yes, Mataji, I'm here, Mat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association regularly in this Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are really fortunate to have you on this call, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. You can take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to be with all of you in this Bhakti Sangha conference. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदानाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुष्ये नमः वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, text number 10, 11, 12 and 13, 4 verses. We'll be reading. This topic is Prathu Maharaj. So Prathu Maharaj, he has a vision, or he is meeting with the Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu's appearance in sacrificial arena. So little bit background about this topic, and this is particularly first 9 verses. They talk about that how this complete knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead that leads to bhakti. So Maharaj Prathu has performed 99 horse sacrifices to worship the Lord Vishnu, and then after 29 verses he renounced performing another one yajna, 100, because Lord Brahma he ordered him not to do it. And he said that Lord Vishnu is already satisfied, so there is no need for you to perform another one more yajna or 100 yajnas. So after this 99 yajnas, Lord Vishnu became very pleased and he descends. He appears at the sacrificial arena and he brings Indra also, because Indra was the one who stole the heart and would not let Prathu Maharaj finish his 100 yajnas, and so he was an offender. So Lord Vishnu brought him with him to this Indra, who, because he wanted to beg the forgiveness of Prathu Maharaj. So Lord asked Prathu to forgive Indra based on understanding that Indra was a soul separate from his body. So anybody who understands that soul is different from the body means that they are really highly elevated. Because most of the people in the world, they think that I am the body. So they have no understanding of the soul or relationship of the soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at least Indra understands. But because he is a kind of like Sakam Bhakta and he wanted to maintain his position, so he would not let Prathu Maharaj perform one more yajna, because Indra is Shatakratu and he was worried that if Prathu Maharaj finishes 100 yajnas, he may usurp his position. So one who does not forgive but wants to retaliate, that that means he is under the influence of the material energy. If a personality like you, who are so much advanced because of executing the instructions of the acharyas, is carried away by the influence of the material energy of the Supreme Lord, then all advancement may be considered it is a waste of time. So in our daily life, we find that when a madman commits murder, he is excused by the High Court because he was not in proper consciousness. So same thing that so if like say Indra has done some atrocities or done not a right work, he did not act rightly, but he should be excused because Prathu Maharaj is out of bodily consciousness. He was performing these yajnas not to get the position of Indra, but just to please the Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is pleased, and he is completely aware, being a Sakta Shesha Avatar, he is aware that body is different than the soul, so why to go on the platform of the bodily identification? He is beyond the three modes of the material nature. So whatever he does, the person who is not under the clutches of the material energy, then whatever he does under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative. But the karmis, they are always influenced by the modes of material nature. So Prabhupada is saying that everyone who is conditioned by matter is mad, and those who react to actions of the madman are also mad. So one should not react to the actions of a madman. So Prabhupada is saying that how to practically apply this teaching, and that those who perceive the influence of the material modes should hate the sin but not the sinner, and practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is the quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. So this we had already read in the previous verses. In verse number 5 of this chapter, those who are in full knowledge of the bodily conception of life, who know that this body is composed of nascence, desires and activities resulting from illusion, do not become addicted to the body. So learned persons remain free from illusion. Such persons need not perform ritualistic Vedic sacrifices to bring themselves material comfort. Most of the people who perform these yajnas, they want to get certain boons or certain results and enjoy bodily comforts, material comforts. So our attempt should be to know the personality of Godhead. Attempt should be to know that we are a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Lord, and our duty is to serve the Supreme Whole. So such a rare person, he is without material covering, and he is the witness of all the activity. The soul is witnessing. He does not perform the these things or whatever that we see in the material world that is being done is done by the three modes of material nature. And under the spell of the three modes, the one works. Uh, ghastly things one works according to in what mode one he is in, and but a devotee he transcends this modes of material nature. And so one who knows both the soul and the super soul always tries to please the Lord, so never affected by the modes of material nature. He is always situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So Rupa Goswami is also saying that if a person is always engaged in the service of the Lord with his body, words and mind, he is to be considered liberated, although he is living among the material world. So all over the instruction in this revealed scripture that one does not have to give up his activities or go, but devotee, whatever he is doing, he should use it for service to the Supreme Lord. Means dovetailing activities in the service of the Lord rather than doing those activities for our own sense enjoyment without Lord being in the center. Uh, so this is like, so this is the knowledge of that soul is different than the body, and we should act under the level, like at the level of the soul, to engage the body, which is like a machine, in the service of the Lord. So Lord Vishnu is still continuing that, my dear King Prathu, this is the last verse, ninth verse. Then we will take the 10th verse. When one situated in his occupational duty engages in my loving service without motive for material gain, he gradually becomes very satisfied within. So one who is acting in this way, his heart becomes purified, he is cleansed of all the material contamination, and he sees everybody equally. Uh, and he is very peaceful, and he serves the Lord on pure Brahminical level or Brahman platform. Such person becomes liberated even while they are in this material world. Their deep absorption in Krishna consciousness allows them to experience the self is different from the body and its activity. Body is working under the spell of the three modes of the material nature. So such a devotee is in complete knowledge, and he remains undisturbed in both happiness and distress. Matra sparshastu kaunteya situshna sukha dukkada agama paino nityanta stitiksha bharata. Although he does feel that there is a heat, cold, there is a loss, there is a gain, or there is a prestige, there is no prestige, somebody is blaspheming him, but he knows that this is happening in the material world, and this is just to the body and not to the self. Self is completely transcendental. Now, this next, this verse number 10 that we will be reading, Parityakta guna samyak darshano vishadashayah shanti me samavasthanam brahma kaivalyam asnute. Parityakta guna, one who is disassociated, means from the material modes of nature. How he could be disassociated? Means whatever it is happening, he tries to control, but he does not feel that he is the master, or he does not enjoy or suffer those resultant reactions from the work of the body. He is just like he is just seeing them, but he does not participate in the resultant actions and reactions of the modes of material nature. So when the heart is cleansed of all material contamination, the devotee's mind becomes broader and transparent, and he can see things equally. At that stage of life, there is peace, and one is situated equally with me as Satchidananda Vigraha. Equally with me means we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is Satchidananda, and we are also Satchidananda. But because of the modes of material nature, we become Asat because we associate with them, and we think that we are these modes, and put our in that situation as if that is the situation of the body, not the self. Then he becomes Asat, Aschit and Nirananda. But if he thinks that he is part of the Lord, then he feels and he has nothing to do with changes in the body. And there is a practical example has been given, which will come later on, that if there is a, like say there is a car and there is a big businessman, he's sitting in the car and he's directing what is happening, that you take me there, how much petrol it will take, how much miles are there. But then he's absorbed in his business, what he will do, how to increase the business. So he's not aware what is happening with the car. He just, when the driver says, his servant says that now the office has come, please get down. He opens the door, he gets out. So what has happened, how he came, how he's sitting in the car, what happened, he has really no knowledge of that, his knowledge. So one can also, with this body is like a machine, and we are sitting in the machine. So if we are absorbed in Krishna consciousness, although we are aware what is happening, but we don't get carried out by what is happening with the body. One just let it just happen according to so many turns, so many things they happen, but he is aloof, so it could be happen in that way. And in that way he is equal to everybody. He can see things equally. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti lavate param. Uh, so it is only one who is in knowledge. He sees equally. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. That everything is Vasudeva expansion. That is all his energy. So at that stage, when he comes to this Brahma Bhuta stage, he is very peaceful, and one is situated equally with me as Sachidananda Vigraha. Equally with me, what does it mean that he is situated equally with me as Sachidananda Vigraha? That means that he is also Satchidananda. This Achit or Nirananda or Asat, that does not affect him. They know that it is just a body, not he himself. As a soul, he is completely pure, one with the Supreme Lord. But as a servant, that is where the Achinta Bheda Ved Tattva comes, that we are infinitesimal and the Lord is the Vibhu, great, and being his part, like gold's part is still gold. But we are not like a mount of gold. So in the same way, that one, what it is saying, that one is situated equally, means he has the same in quality, but not in quantity. Quantity wise, Krishna is the greatest. So in purport of this 10th verse, the Mayavadi conception of Kaivalya, Kaivalyam Narakayate, Kaivalya and that of the Vaishnava is different. What Kaivalya means, that we and Lord is the same. But that is a Mayavad philosophy, that we merge into the existence of the Lord and we become the Lord. And Vaishnava philosopher, their conception that he understands that both his position and position of the Supreme Lord, that he is the servant, Jivara Swarupoy, Krishna Nityada. He understands that. So word is the same, Kaivalya. My brother's name is Kaivalya. But that Kaivalya is that, yes, we are part of Krishna and we have the same qualities as the Krishna has the qualities. That's where Achintya Bheda and Abheda that comes, and that is the doctrine of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we are one and the same with the Lord in quality, but in quantity we are different. A great difference. So a Vaishnava understanding of the Kaivalya, and Mayavad understand that Kaivalya is that I and Lord are the one and the same. But one and the same all the time means we merge and become the Lord. That is not the case. Both his position and the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that Vaishnava understands in the uncontaminated condition. The living means that it means a pure condition. The living entity understands that he is the eternal servitor of the Supreme, and that is called Jerover Sarupa Krishna Nityadas. That is called a Brahman realization. Brahman means the greatest, the spiritual perfection of the living entity. That is the Brahman stage. This rapport is very easily achieved, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita. When one is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is immediately situated on the transcendental platform of Kaivalya or Brahman realization. Mam cha yoga vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Avyabhicharena means without any mixing, is without any contamination. Then if he serves the Lord in that condition with a pure soul, pure heart, then he is raised above all the three gunas. Sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That he is in the Brahman stage. or he has realized the Brahman. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of the material nature and thus come to the level of Brahman. Brahman realization, that he knows that his body is different than he himself and engages in loving devotional service. That is the Bhakti Yoga. Uh, but not only Bhakti Yoga means not only that he understands Krishna, but his different plenary expansions. That is also like say Ram, Narayan, Narsimha, Vara, Matsya, so many incarnations that he, and not only those incarnations, but also he understands that all the part and parcel like Jiva soul. So he acts equally on all these Jiva souls, and particularly the spiritual master or devotees, because devotees are direct representative of Krishna, like a spiritual master is an external representation of Krishna. There is an inner way, like Chaitya Guru. Chaitya means a Chetna and consciousness. That Chaitya Guru is the Paramatma, an external manifestation of this Paramatma is the spiritual master. So he has faith in all this. And one, so chanting is one process to realize this. And then when he sees the Diti form of the Lord, or goes to a temple, or all day, he meditates on the form of the Lord. From toe to the to nails to the hair, and all the time meditates on the beauty of the Lord, and his transcendental qualities of the Lord, in his activities of the Lord, different leelas. So he remembers his Nam, Roop, Gun, Leela, not just one form, but all the expansions of the Lord, because they are still the same. But on a more higher stage, just that remembering, then one fixes his mind on one set of deities. That this is, I will worship Radha Krishna, I will worship Bal Gopal. So his mind on that, and not only that, all the Bal Gopal is, but he has particular affection for the particular deity that he worships, his worshipable deity. So it does not, his mind does not divert to any another deity. Like somebody may be worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, somebody may be worshipping Sitaram, somebody may be worshipping Radha Krishna. So Radha Krishna worship is good, or any worship, but one should have his attention on one form of the Lord, just like Gadadhar Pandit. He took Kshetra Sannyas, and he will always think of his worshipable deity in Jagannath Puri, Gopinath, Tota Gopinath, Madhavendra Puri. His whole life was in serving the Gopinath, Shir Chora Gopinath, in the latter part of the life. But before he was serving Gopalnath, Giridhari, and that one he found in Govardhan Hill. So he was just worship. He would not go to some another deities. So these are the, one is a general instruction for everybody. One is a particular instruction that one worships the form of the Lord, that he is serving, meditating, massaging their legs, offering the food. So he is not deviated from that. So text number 11, Udasinam Ivadhyaksham Dravya Jnana Kriyatmanam Kutastham Imamatmanam Yo Vedapnoti Shobhanam. Anyone who knows that this material body, made of the 5 gross elements, the sense organs, the working senses, and the mind, simply supervised by the fixed soul, is eligible to be liberated from material bondage. So, supervised are all, that soul is supervising, that is fixed. But these are all the working senses. So there is Deha and Dehi. Deha is body. This body is combination of like 24, or some may say 28 elements. What those elements are, that has been described, like even in Bhagavad Gita, it talks about these different elements. Bhumirapona vayu khammano buddhir evacha ahankar iti yam me binna prakrtir astada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. They are all together, that is constitute my separated. It is also energy of the Lord. So along with that, there are 5 knowledge acquiring senses: ears, nose, eyes, tongue, and the skin, sense of touch, and then the whatever ears like it is for listening. So in this way, so there are other senses. So 10, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, 5 the objects of the knowledge acquiring senses, like smell is the object of the nose, hearing or sound is the function of the ears. So there are so the so 5 tanmatras, uh, 5 there are grass elements, and then subtle element, subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego. So that makes 10 of these working senses and knowledge acquiring senses. The knowledge of 5 different things, that is 15, and 8 8 are the grass and subtle elements. And then there is a Mahatattva, and beyond the Mahatattva there is Prakriti. Mahatattva it becomes when that Prakriti is agitated by the vision of Mahavishnu. So that is that Prakriti is in Samyavastha and equanimity. But when the Lord looks at that, then that this Prakriti, then it becomes Pradhan or Mahatattva, and there is injection of the souls into this uh, Mahatattva, and then the bodies are given by Lord Brahma according to their previous karma and their desires and what mentality they had at the time or under what modes they are in. So this is how the creation starts. But the soul, if one is in Brahman realization or knows the Brahman, he knows that he has nothing to do with this body. So, so one who is liberated from material bondage, how one can become liberated? That is the purport of this verse. The first point is that one must know that the soul is different from this body. The soul is called Dehi, and then we are Dehi means one who possesses the body, and the material body is called Deha, or the embodiment of the soul. The body is changing at every moment, but the soul is fixed. Therefore, the soul is called Kutastha. Kutastha means unchangeable. The change of the body is enacted by the reactions of the 3 modes of nature. One who has understood the fixed position of the soul should not be disturbed by incoming and outgoing interactions of the modes of material nature. Prakate kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa. Ahankar vimudatma kartamiti manyate. If one is in ahankar, he thinks that he is the doer or the soul, but soul is not the doer. The doer is the modes of material nature. So that's why if there is any change, matra sparshas to konteya, that verse comes, that one who is in level of the soul, who understands that he has nothing to do with bodily changes. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna recommends that since happiness and distress come and go due to the interaction of the modes of nature on the body, one should not be disturbed by such external movement. Because you may say that body and these senses are dead, but they work because of they are energized by Krishna, the super soul and the soul, according to the desire. So the body acts because of the presence of the soul, and soul can act or could have influence on the body because the Paramatma is there. Paramatma is the one who sanctions the activity, or it is under the different modes. Even though one is sometimes absorbed in such external movements, he has to learn to tolerate them. The living entity, Tanstitiksha Bharata, should be always indifferent to the actions and reactions of the external body. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the body made of gross physical elements and the subtle elements is completely different from the soul proper. One should therefore not be disturbed by the actions and reactions of the 8 gross and subtle material elements. Practical process to attain this stage of indifference to execute devotional service. Only who is like engaged in this devotional service, then he does not hear or see the external activity. Just like I will give an example, that one man who was sharpening his arrow. So he was a hunter and he wanted to sharpen his arrow, and he was absorbed in that sharpening the arrow so much that a king's entourage he was just on the side of the road, and whole entourage of the king with band and elephants and and so many ladies were dancing and songs, and that passed by. Was not even aware that that king has passed and there was so much disturbance. So if one focuses on that, is called Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi. That Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi, Eke hi Kuru Nandana. Bahushakha hi Anantasya. So that is given Buddhayo Avyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one, means they will always be. Shyama, light ban kar. O beloved child of the Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So one has to focus on Krishna, then external things would not disturb such person. So that is called samadhi. Means there is yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, dhyan, dharana and samadhi. So one who could focus on Krishna and not be disturbed by outward things, then it is called, is understood that he is a first class yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Saddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamomata. That is 647. That he is worshipped with saddha, with full faith. Then he is properly situated. That is Vyavasaya. That is the Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi. So text number 12. भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मना द्रष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्ध सौहृदाः. Lord Vishnu told King Prathu, my dear king, the constant change of this material world is due to the interaction of the three modes of material nature, the five elements, the senses, the demigods who control the senses, as well as the mind, which is agitated by the spirit soul. All spirit soul, if it is not focused on Krishna, then this mind is agitated. All this taken together comprise the body. Since the spirit soul is completely different from this combination of gross and subtle material elements, my devotee who is connected with me in intense friendship and affection, being completely in knowledge, is never agitated by material happiness and distress. So I give you the example of so there is some are Baddha Jiva, some are Mukta Jiva. Baddha Jivas are those who are bound by the material nature, and Mukta Jiva that they are free from these three modes or actions and reactions of the three modes. So in the spiritual kingdom, all people are Nitya Mukta, eternally. But we are sometime under the modes of material nature, sometime we are not. So we are not Nitya, but we are Nitya Baddha. We are bound by the material modes of this nature. Modes means they are like the ropes which binds us to this material world. So we have to become free, and one can become even a free even in this life while having this material body. They are called Jivan Muktas. Bound, so we have to be bound, the Baddha Sauradaha. So that word is there. The last word on this text number 12 is Baddha Sauradaha. It means bound in friendship. So bound in friendship with the Supreme Lord. Means in different, like we could have a friendly relation, even in paternal affection there is a friendly relation, and conjugal relation there is a friendly relation, is always there. Karmis, Gyanis and Yogis cannot be bound in devotional service. Karmis, what they do? They are engaged in the activities of the body. The aim of life to give comfort to the body. Gyanis try to get out of the entanglement by philosophical speculation, and but they have no standing in the liberated position. These people, this one who does not really put their attention on the Supreme Lord, do not think of the Lord, who are not engaged in service of the Lord, who are not engaged in chanting of the Lord. So for them, in 10th canto, there is a verse, Yenne Arvindaksha Vimukta Manina. So one who is not really worshipping Arvindaksha, one whose eyes are lotus, like the lotus. Tvai Astabhavat Avishuddha Buddhaya. They are with Avishuddha Buddha. It is not pure, their buddhi. Aruvya Krachena Parampadam Tatam. They think that they have elevated because they go beyond this material universe. They think that they are liberated. They are in Brahmajyoti, or maybe in one of the Siddha Lokas, but because there is nothing to do, they are not engaged, not engaging their senses in the service of the Lord. We should be engaging whatever senses we have for using, then only our senses can be purified. So they are not in, and when we are in the spiritual kingdom, the soul develops its own purified senses. But right now, we have to use these material senses. Rashikena, Sevanam Bhaktir, Uttamar Uchyate, that we are in use Rashikesha, means the master of the senses. Rashikena, Rashik means these senses. So we should use our senses in service of the Supreme Lord. So even if the people who have gone beyond the material world into Siddha Lokas or Brahma Jyoti, Aruvya Krachin, with a great difficulty, then they Tata Patanti Adha, Nadrat Yushmadi Angraha, because they have not worshipped the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, then they fall down. Because they need some activity. Soul is always active. It cannot remain aloof. So they fall down and then they do some philanthropic activity. And gradually they fall down and become karmis. Because philanthropic activity they will do without the Lord. If Lord is separate, then they will become affection to somebody, and gradually I know some sannyasis like they take care of in so many ways to take material taking care of them, but without giving them the knowledge of Krishna, they fall down from their position. Because they have bodily concepts. They think that they can achieve something spiritual by exercising the body through dharana, asana, pranayam, like that. So they could achieve. A devotee's position is always transcendental because of his intimate relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, to remain always aloof from the actions and reactions of the body and engage in one's real occupation, namely rendering service to the Lord, can be possible only by the devotees. Then only they could be free. So there may be many qualities, but all those good qualities are really, they are on the mental platform. Yash, Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchina Sarvair Gudair Tatra Samasatya Sura. One Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchina, that one who has Akinchan Bhakti, nobody else, just Krishna. He develops all the good qualities of the demigods or beyond. And one who has good qualities materially, but because they are sitting on the horse of their mind, they are sitting on the horse, that is the mind is taking them here and there, so they don't have really any good qualities. The last verse that we will discuss, text number 13, Sama Samar Samano Tama Madhya Madhama Sukhe cha Dukhe cha Jitendrish Yashaya Mayo Rupta Kilaloka Sanyuto Vidhastu Avira Kilaloka Rakshanam. My dear heroic king, so this is being told by Narayana, Lord Vishnu is telling to Prathu Maharaj, please keep yourself always equipoised and treat people equally, whether they are greater than you in the intermediate stage or lower than you, because all have the spirit soul which is all equal, all the souls are equal, and there is Paramatma. Do not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness. Fully control your mind and senses. In this transcendental position, try to execute your duty as king in whatever condition of life you may be posted by my arrangement. For your only duty here is to give protection to the citizens of your kingdom. So see, this is an important instruction. One may say, is a king, he has to protect his citizen, he has to fight for them, or whatever, like if some attack is coming, so that way it is all material, but they are not material. One should understand that if we put Krishna in the center and act for him, he has given me the position of a king, so he should serve the citizens properly, just like Ram Rajya, that he was serving, even to the extent that he was in so much distress, Lord Ram, when he knew that Sita is completely pure, she is not contaminated by remaining in Ashoka 1, in the Ravan's place. She is so, and they did Agni Pariksha also. She was completely aware, but still for the citizens' pleasure, he banished Sita Maharani in the care of Valmiki Muni. So anyway, they should pay attention. Same thing a family man. He has a wife, he has children, but they are given in care to this person as part of like Krishna's energy, because of our previous relations. But we have to think that Krishna has given me this job, this duty, these children, wife, family, and then they take care as a service to Krishna, not thinking that yes, I am the master, or I am proprietor, or I am taking care of them, I and me, this is just me, means my blood is flowing there, and I am the proprietor, I am the master, I am the controller. So those things, if it is not there, and you see everybody equally serve, everybody take care, proper care of the family, do the earning, and just does not. So it's not that people who go to the Himalayas and they are more pure, they are like Bhajnanandi. But Krishna asked Arjun, he was a Kshatriya, and he said that you are a Kshatriya, it is now your duty to serve me by fighting. So he did not say that, okay, you take sannyas and get out. By my prowess I will. No, he has given this position. So here, example, receiving direct instruction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, one is to execute the order of the Lord Vishnu, whether receiving it directly from him or from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Arjun fought for the battle of Kurukshetra under the direct order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Prathu Maharaj is also being given the orders by Lord Vishnu regarding the execution of his duty. We have to stick to the principles stated in Bhagavad Gita. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eke kurunandana. Every man's duty is to receive orders from the Lord Krishna or from his bona fide representative and take these orders as his life and soul. Without personal consideration, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether he is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the direct order received from the spiritual master. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the order of the spiritual master, he will always remain in a liberated position. So a common man must execute the rules and regulations, the Varnashram. That is for a common man, that he should follow. So Varnashram means according to Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and gradually they get purified. And but really, this Varnashram for beginner is all right, but their aim is real by following those the duties of that world and ashram, then they may go up to heavenly planet and enjoy higher. But our more important duty is to serve the Supreme Lord and serve under whatever that he has given us the task through the spiritual master. As a king, Prathu was ordered by Lord to keep himself always aloof from the activities of the bodily situation and to engage always in the service of the Lord and thus keep himself in the liberated state. So, Baddha Savrada, which is given in the previous verse, is explained here with one can fully remain in intimate connection with the Supreme Lord, directly receive orders from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, and execute the orders sincerely when one keeps aloof from the activities of the body. Activities of the body means body is made of the senses, and senses would go to so many places. So we should not be worried about that my mind is carrying me or carrying the senses to here and there. My senses are demanding, and we go behind the senses. But we should go behind the what is my duty, what duty has been assigned to me. And then again the spiritual duties of chanting, hearing, that is also there. There is Navda Bhakti, and at the same time 24 hours thinking of Krishna or Krishna's service. That is also thinking of Krishna. Just like Narad Muni had to take oil across the field, and then it should not drop a single drop. So Narad Muni was thinking of that oil pot, that I should carry it to the other side of the field without spilling, because that's what Krishna asked. So he could not think of Krishna, but his duty is also thinking. Like if somebody is thinking of in the business, thinking of the master, that how to grow the business, how to earn more money, then he's thinking of the boss. Whether he is directly thinking of him or his farm or his what he likes or dislikes, but his own work is also part of the same is thinking of the Lord. The Lord helps us by giving us directions how to act in devotional service and thus advance on the path back home, back to Godhead. He instructs us outwardly in the form of the spiritual master. Therefore, one should not accept the spiritual master as an ordinary human being. The Lord says, Acharya mam vijaniyam nava manneta karichit. That one should not accept that he is an ordinary person. One should not treat the spiritual master as an ordinary human being, for he is the substitute for the supreme personality of Godhead. Just like ambassador, he represents the king, and so that's what is that. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also sings in this glorification that one should treat him as if he is the Supreme Lord himself. But he never thinks that he is the Supreme Lord. One should treat the spiritual master as the supreme personality of Godhead and never be envious of him or consider him to be an ordinary human being. If we follow that instruction of the spiritual master and execute devotional service to the Lord, we will remain always free from contamination of the bodily and material activities, and our life will be successful. So there are more instructions, and very, very nice instructions are being given. We have been wandering in this material world throughout for many, many lifetimes. And so with this instruction, we go from one planet to another. So how we could get out of this cycle? The living entities wandering in this way, life after life, sometimes as human beings, sometimes as demigods, sometimes as brahmanas, sometimes as shudras, sometimes as trees, sometimes as insects, sometimes as fish, so many. Sometimes as bird, and in different planets also, not only in this planet. So how we could get out is that tata dhyantara praptir dhiras tatra namoyati. So if we become Krishna conscious, then our all the wandering would be finished. So we have to be out of this three modes of material nature. Think that it is material nature is acting, not I am doing. So we should not get attached to the things, or if something comes because the soul has taken the shelter of this body. So if there is some heat, cold, or honor, dishonor, and then we should tolerate that and continue our devotional activity without too much getting bombarded or boggled with other thoughts of comforting the senses and the body. Thank you so much. I will end here. There may be several questions, but these are very, very important. This fourth canto is almost 3 volumes of the fourth canto that Prabhupada has printed. The 10th canto is another bigger one, but this is an 11th canto is also big one. So this is nice instruction. Lord is instructing. Then Kumaras will also come and instruct, and Prathu Maharaj will instruct his citizens. And so there are many more chapters are still there that will discuss about Prathu Maharaj, because he is the ideal king. And then not that we have to become the king or for that, but how to live through the Prathu Maharaj. He is instructing all of us. Through Arjun, he is instructing all of us how to live and how to act and what is the real situation. So we are learning in that way. Thank you. So you can unmute now. So if anybody has any discussions, questions.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ramdas Prabhu, thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Maharaj. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
anyone.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So, Maharaj, I had one query over here. In the verse 5, we have the example of the madman being not punished by the jury because he is mad, right? So, that example or that is with respect to whom? Is it with respect to Indra that Lord Vishnu has been instructing, or is with respect to Prathu Maharaj? Whom is that example?
No. Okay. This mad man, we are all mad because we are in the material world thinking that I am the body. So we are all mad. It is the instruction for us that even like a madman, the judge, He does not punish. But here the judge, like for we are all hunted by the modes of material nature, like the ghost is hunting. So we are always hunted because that is our desire. We came to act as Krishna, but that instruction is for all of us, not just for that madman is not given the punishment as he would ordinarily give. So we are all contaminated by the modes of material nature. So we should be free. Transtitiksha means we should get above Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Naistraigunya Bhavarjuna. That we are under the three modes of material nature. We should be free from these three modes. So under the three modes we act as a ghost. So that will act on us, and it is for Indra also, it is for instruction, could apply particularly for Indra, but we are all under that kind of sway or that kind of hunted by the material nature, that is the ghost is attacking us. And how we could be free is by following the process of devotional service, chanting, hearing Navada Bhakti, devotee association, reading Bhagavatam, remembering the Supreme Lord from head to toe, or remembering him for his Nam, Roop, Gun, Lila, and following the instruction of the spiritual master and devotees, serving devotees. So these are all important aspects. How to be free from this ghost? You may be getting some antidepressant or something, ghost busters, but the ghost buster, real ghost buster, is the devotee of the Lord. Or this Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam is the ghost buster who could remove the ghost. We are all hunted. So I hope you understand that it is not just for Indra. Indra is hunted because he wanted prestige, position, that is material things. Prathu Maharaj is beyond that. But that instruction is also for all of us, that we should be free from this material nature, attachment to the material nature of sense enjoyment.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. That makes it great. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj, very nice class, very nice lectures. I have a question.
Please.
So we see the Indra in different time periods. You know, he seems like a very jealous person. Like everywhere there is somebody is doing yagna, he tries to distract them, tries to disturb them. In fact, the Govardhan Hill, we all know that he was trying to destroy the people of Brajvasis. He was trying to kill them by sending the. So how he is different than demons? I mean, demons do the same thing.
See, he is a Sakam Bhakta. He knows that he is the his soul. He knows that body is different. He has been given. He did perform 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas. He pleased the Supreme Lord, and because of his this dedication, he was become made the Indra by Shatakratu by 100 Yagyas. But still he is Sakam, means he wants to enjoy his senses, enjoy his position, prestige. So he sometimes may act under those because he is not pure bhakta. He may act something wrong, but because he was appointed by the Lord for that post, so Lord protects him. And but he is not like an ordinary demon, because demons don't distinguish between under some agitation or previous enjoying propensity, like he may have made the form of Gautam Rishi and a relation with Ahilya. And Ahilya was cursed and she was to stay as a stone for many, many thousands of years until Lord Ram came. So that may be cited, but at the same time he does understand the difference between the body and the soul, which demons don't. And demons all the time they act against that principles of Krishna consciousness. And not only that they are envious, yes, here the Indra just did not wanted to give up his position. He's attached to his position. That's why he's doing this. But otherwise, Krishna says even in Bhagavatam, Ete chans kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mradayanti Yuge Yuge. When there is disturbance and in the position of the Indra, Indrari Vyakulam Loke, that when Indra in this lok becomes Indra Ari, means when there are more demonic forces become enemies. Ari means enemies. Indra means Indra's enemies. When they come, then when Indra is Vyakula, disturbed the whole Swargalok, then Mradayanti Yuga Yuga, he comes and chastises others who are doing all this because he is appointed by him. And he is not a demon, we cannot tell him a demon. He is the chief among all the demigods. Indra's son is Bali, is also Indra's son. And Sugriv is son of sun god. He is beyond sun and moon because he is ruling over all the demigods. 33 करोड़ देवताओं का वो राजा है. So we cannot put him as a demon. Yes, he has desire. So even a higher person, such an elevated person, can fall down or can act wrong. So one should become a pure devotee of the Lord, not remain Sakam Bhakta, but everything done for Krishna. So our attention, we have to learn. Prabhupada has given us the process, which is only by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and this Bhakti Yoga that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given, Raganuga Bhakti. That is the topmost. Other processes are there for a gradual elevation. And so that may elevate you to Swargalok or even Brahm, but even Vaikuntha Lok, but to Krishna Lok and love of Godhead. That is only available for Krishna Bhakta under the guidance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers until Srila Prabhupada. And he has given us this knowledge and his Bhakti Vedanta purport, and that's what we were reading. So we follow that and left just even get out of this material entanglement even in one lifetime if you follow it properly. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. No, I did not mean to say evil, but I meant to say his behavior, his uncontrolled anger at devotees
Right.
is almost like other, Hiranyakashipu or other people demonstrated. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Maharaj. Very, very wonderful class. Maharaj, in the beginning you were telling the example of how a CEO goes in a car, but he's not concerned with, about how the car reaches the destination because he's absorbed in something else. And what was the connection? I missed it. Can you explain that?
See, one may say that the soul who is pure, how like he is carrying harder like through the body and senses, he's doing his activity. So how he could be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, I mean soul directly thinking of Krishna, how it is possible because he has to be in interactions of the senses. So he has to worry about what is happening. But it happens just in the car. The man is a big businessman. He's sitting in the car and he's going. So he may know that he's going to that place, but he's not worried about how it is happening. So this is for all of us that we can learn from this example that a man sitting in the car has nothing to do, although he is going, but he's not right, left, what to do, where to go. It is already happened by his arrangement. These things are happening, and he will reach to his destination. And we can also reach to our destination of almost to Golok Vrindavan if we keep ourselves aloof from and think of Krishna all the time. Like he's thinking of the business, and we could think of Krishna while doing in the material world, while living in the material world. Just like a lotus leaf is aloof from the water, although remaining in the water for all the time. Water doesn't touch it. So we could also be like that, that this material nature, the modes of material nature would not affect. Time to eat, he will eat. Just whatever bodily needs, he will do it. But his thoughts are always on Krishna. He is always thinking of Krishna or his service or his activity. Like Arjun was so much like when in the battlefield, he had to find and focus and so much. But at night when he was sleeping, from each of his hair pores, that Krishna's name was coming out. He was not different. So he is all the time, even in his sleep, he was thinking of Krishna. So in our all the activity, we can think and we not be bothered by what is happening. That is what Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochatina. That is what is Brahma Bhuta is saying. He does not lament that if there is any loss, or he does not lament, and he does not desire for anything material. You may say how he could run just according to the arrangement of the Lord, according to your destiny. Things would come and go. One should not really become too much. You may say that should not I work? No, you work. Should not have a family? Yes, you have a family. You have children. But thinking that they are given under my care, so it is my duty to take care of them as a service to the Lord. But never think that he is my child or my husband or my family or my wealth. You use it in Krishna service. You may say that should I use everything immediately? No, do it according to what the mentality, what Krishna is instructing you, or ask the spiritual master and let him decide, and you act in that way. And then you would free from this attachment to the body and to the whatever is well for the body, means not only by body, mind, words, possessions, everything is should be under the direction, like say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, or Chaitanya this Haridas Thakur. He asked the prostitute, distribute your all the wealth. So she distributed. Now she came, she shaved her hair, and then he said that okay, now you sit underneath this tulsi plant and just chant. So she made a little kutir that Haridas Thakur, she was living there, and she became a nice devotee. Same thing Mragrari. Mragrari was just earning by killing half animals and selling his hide and eating that meat. And he asked that how I will maintain my body. He says, don't worry, you just give away all this business of hunting and killing half-killed animals. Just make a little hut, just live there, chant, and people brought him all these things. Other than human being, nobody works, but they get all their necessities. So there is a perfect arrangement of the Lord. He is our Supreme Father, and one will get. And if we have to work, then work also with thinking that I am doing as a service to the Lord. Whatever you do, it is a service to the Lord. Not think yourself alone or enjoyer of this world, or enjoyer of your wealth, enjoyer of your family. We are not really enjoyer. We are to be enjoyed by the Lord. We have to cooperate in the Lord's plan. So we are cooperator for the Lord in His plan. This is also material energy, is also His energy. So we cannot just go and just give away everything that now Arjun wanted to give away or go. But Krishna asked him that you no, stay here and fight. Fight for me. I want to establish Yudhishthira as the king, Dharmaraj. So do that way. So in this way, so I hope that you understand what you are asking, and it has been answered to you. And by this ghostly thing, it is that ghost is, what was exactly that you asked?
Yes, Maharaj, the same thing, and thank you so much for explaining it. Because the more we hear these things, we can apply this and follow the instructions nicely. And hearing from a practicing, realized soul like you, it touches the heart. Thank you.
I am not realized. I just read and I want to become realized. That is something different. But I am just also a practicing devotee like yourself, and in that way we both could help each other and perform our Krishna conscious duties. And some may be on a different platform, but all are on the same level. Everybody is practicing. Indra is practicing. He is trying. Otherwise, how he will get association of Lord Vishnu? He came. He brought him that you come in front of Prathu Maharaj, beg pardon from him, and he asked his forgiveness. So that is a demon would never, Ravan never listen to anybody's advice. His wife Kumbhakarna, his own son in Indradyumna, or his wife Mandodari, so many times said, and Hanumanji said that give away this your attachment to Sita. Give Sita respectfully to Lord Ram. But he never heard. So demons don't hear anybody's good advice. But a devotee does hear. Even if he is fallen, but he can be purified because he has opened his ears and senses to hear the proper instruction. And demons don't hear. they make their own concocted way of life or concocted thoughts which may have no really reality in the material world.
Thanks so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We have covered until 14th verse, right, Prabhuji?
13 only, I think. 4 verses, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Yeah, 14 I did not get.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Although I may have taken or thought something, but not really that I covered that whole thing. 13.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. See, this Krishna consciousness is very practical. It is not that we cannot perform. What we have to see the lives of these elevated souls, Prabhu Maharaj, and what Krishna is saying. And if we have a simple heart and we just follow through, then we could become also purified. Like these all people became purified. So it is not impractical. It's not so difficult. We don't have to like say, oh, you have to lie down or walk on the this fire or lie down on the like go to the forest or jungle or this place. Those places and or you have to perform so many yajna. No, it is very, very practical. Even if you are amidst your family earning, you could still become Krishna conscious. And that's what all these pages are teaching us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vasudeva, and many people, they wanted to come with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sthane sthita tanuvan manobhi, that by your mind, body, you stay and then serve Krishna. And remember him all the time. So everybody is part of Krishna, so if we could think of that and try to help wherever, yare dekho tare ko Krishna upadesh, then you give that, talk about Krishna. You go to your work, you go in a bus, plane, train, and you talk about. Your discussion should not be material, not titillating the senses, but we should talk about Krishna and not something of material enjoyment and how it is beneficial. Just give few years to Krishna in a pure bhakti, and then one can become free from this material entanglement.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the beautiful class. Is there anybody having any more questions for Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Etiko. Prabhuji, Gata Samik Prabhuji, Koti Koti Pranam. Srila Prabhupada,
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Directing us, guide us, and teaching us. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your
Hare Krishna.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we would like to end. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the beautiful class. If there are no more questions, we would like to end the call here by offering obeisances to the Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripasindhubhya eva cha patitana pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Shami Krishi Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Mother Kavati ki. Hare Krishna. Offer my obeisances to Jai Gaur Sundar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Please accept my obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Accept mine.